Comments?
Question, Ms. Turner, if I may. Sorry, make the podium for the TV people here. Did you happen to read the Recycling Committee summary that was presented to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen at the last meeting?
No, I did not.
Did not? Okay. I would just clarify, I read it and listened to it, and I didn't see anything in there that said anything about forcing people to do anything. Right. And again, I'm not going to get a merit to the discussion. That's for another time. But I think that use of that word, I didn't see that anywhere in there, and I would want to clarify that maybe I missed something, but I didn't see that in there. It looked like it was not using that word.
Well, usually the word. I just went off of what's been advertised in the newspaper.
Well, I understand.
And the word franchise usually means that you have to use a particular service, I would think. But at any rate, if we're going to franchise a company to do a certain area and tell people that you're going to get this discounted rate based on the fact that Town of Farragut is recommending customers to use this particular company for this discounted rate, that's enticing them to switch companies, basically.
Well, enticing is one word. Forcing is another, and I just wanted to clarify that.
Sure, but the Town of Farragut has a lot of power when they are brokering a discount.
Well, again, I appreciate your comment. I just did want to clarify that,
sure,
not let that go by, because I didn't see that in the report. So,
yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for coming tonight. Any other comments from the audience? We'll move on to the ordinances. The second reading of Ordinance 11-06, Budget Amendment of the Fiscal Year 2010-2011 Budget, passed by Ordinance 1010.
This will be the second reading of our Fiscal Year 2011 Budget Amendment. And this amendment will be amending the Capital Investment Program, Beautification Fund, and State Street Aid budgets. The Ordinance 11-06 will amend the budget to reflect the following. The capital improvement plan or program will be increased by $830,000. That's broken down to the Farmer Willow Creek Drainage Project is $800,000. The Everett Road right-of-way is $30,000. The next fund is the Beautification Fund. That will be increasing by $21,000. And the State Street Aid Fund will be increasing by $16,000. That was the Farragut Street resurfacing. And staff recommends approval of Ordinance 11-06, Fiscal Year 2011 Budget Amendment on second and final reading.
Comments from the Alderman? If not, then do I hear a motion to approve Ordinance 11-06, amending the fiscal year budget 2011?
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 The motion carries. Under business items, we need to consider approval for legal services, and that's our town administrator, Mr. Smoke.
Thank you, Vice Mayor LaMarche. This agenda item is coming before you to look at legal services for getting into the Social Security program, as well as in the transition that we're going to be undertaking over the next few months regarding our retirement system and changes that will need to be made with that. The Section 218 is the section of the Social Security Code that requires or allows public entities to get into the Social Security program. Obviously, we have not been in it since it started for public entities in 1984. So with that, we are going through a process that takes some time, and we need maybe some help to get us through that process. We want to do it right on the front end. So I've contacted a attorney that specializes in employee benefits, and she's given us a proposal for both helping us with the Social Security aspect of the legal services, as well as helping us in the transition from the current 401A retirement program into a new 401A and 457 retirement program. This contract is on an hourly rate for a not-to-exceed amount of $25,000. If we were able to do the work in less time, then obviously she'd only bill for the hours that are actually billed. So with that, I would ask the board for their approval.
I had a question. We do have a town attorney and a relationship with a law firm. Why would we go outside of what we already have? I'm just curious if you could clarify that. And also, at what point is there a bid process for anything like this?
Well, we don't have to bid services for legal services because it's a professional service. Second, and Mr. Hale is a very, very outstanding attorney. The Section 218 part of the code, not many people have done that, where they have to actually take a local government through that process and get them approved. It may not be difficult, but we do have somebody here that has experience in doing that process. And I've worked with Ms. Kesey-Wetter in the past, and she's done a very nice job for the work that I had her do in the past on retirement. And I think she'll certainly help us in this regard too.
Any other comments?
No, I read through it in detail, and I think she laid it out very well. I do share the same question, but you've already answered it. Whenever possible, I'd like us to do business locally, but at the same token, there's a lot to be said for having a comfort level with people as well, and I do have great respect for your opinion there, so I'm perfectly fine with this.
Yes, ma'am.
I will move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. The next order of business is consideration of bids for contract 2011-2012, the Farm at Willow Creek Drainage Project.
Madam Vice Mayor, I'll take this one too. We have recently bid out this project. The board's well aware that we entered into agreement with Freeman Webb back in August of last year to begin work and to fix the stormwater facilities at the Farm at Willow Creek subdivision. When we bid out the project last week, the bids all came back over budget, and so we're asking the board tonight to reject these bids, and we will go back out and rebid the project. We're going to change the scope in order to hopefully get the cost of the project down, but I do believe that we'll be able to do that in the next few weeks and get that back to you for approval shortly. So with that, our recommendation tonight would be to reject the bids for contract 2011-12.
Would the repair of it be still the same? How are we going to make it cheaper if we're going to still repair it the same way?
Well, we're going to actually look at two different options that are going to, I think, reduce the cost substantially. One deals with the liner in the pond. We're going to do a different process to seal that pond. That's a very large expense that we realized through the bid process. And two is the trench work that's going to be done to get down to the pipe. We think there's a different way of doing that that can also save us money there as well.
Other opportunity to rebid?
Yes, ma'am. They'll all have an opportunity to rebid.
David, I've got a question for you. At the last meeting, I think I'm correct when I say this. Alderman Markley had raised a question about the, what's the term I want to use?
T-Dot qualified.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Tom. T-Dot, the qualifications for this, and he thought there might be a different level we might want to change to. Is that something that's going to be considered this time? I'm way out of my area of expertise, but I do remember him raising a concern, which I think is valid to at least research. Is that something that we can look at changing at this time? Is it even worth considering?
Yes, sir. I've already talked to Daryl about that, and I think we are going to open it up to more bidders than just T-Dot bidders. But I want to emphasize that it's important to try to get the best qualified person for this job. And so we're going to definitely put a lot of parameters in there to try to get a very good qualified contractor to do the work. So we would prefer to have somebody with a lot of experience doing this type of activity and ask for a lot of references to make sure we get that. So.
From the Alderman? Or anyone else? Then do I hear a motion to reject the bids for contract 2011-2012, the Farm at Willow Creek Drainage Project?
So move.
Okay. Motion carried. Next, we will have the Town Administrator's report.
Well, the only thing I have to report tonight is that, and I think Mr. Palmer, when he gets back in a couple weeks, can certainly talk to this, as well as Alderman Markley. But we spent the last week out at the ICSC conference, making a lot of contacts. I know I've talked to Gary, and the conference went very well. Met a lot of good companies, and hoping to get some of those that want to move here to Farragut. So Anyways, I think it was a successful conference, and we have a lot of follow-up to do from it. Yes. I guess since the last time we met, Costco has turned in plans to the planning department, to the community development department, and we will be working with them, and they will be on the June planning commission meeting for consideration of their site plan.
How many acres are located in the area where they want to build? Do you know?
I believe, Vice Mayor LaMarche, it's about 23 acres, roughly. There's quite a bit of retaining wall that they're going to have to do to shore up the back side of the
I was there
property.
today, and I was trying to figure out how much land.
There's going to be a lot of grading work to do, for sure.
But it will be a great asset to our town. That's for sure. Well, our associate town administrator is not here tonight, and our engineer is not here tonight. And our recorder, do you have a report?
We have 3 bills tonight. The first one's the Knox County trustee for $26,400. That's for the right-of-way acquisition on Outlets Drive. J.G. Mullins Construction for $14,132.47, and Greenback Asphalt for $25,776.96.
I have a motion that we approve the payment of these bills.
Motion to pay the bills.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, bills will be paid. And do we have a report from our attorney this evening?
No report, other than to say I'm told it's coming down tomorrow.
I did see the new sign today, and I wondered, and then I saw the old sign still standing, and I thought, why didn't they take the old sign down first?
Code.
Anyway, we're grateful for all your efforts in doing that. Any other business to come before the board tonight? If not, we are adjourned, and thank you for coming. Thank you.
Like it when John runs a meeting.
Sorry, I missed the
Is that a record?
citizen.